All right, back in Newark, great job by our camera guys, but I'm not sure that visual does it justice. All those welts, just a collection of welts on the inside of that right leg of Kennedy and Execu. That one not clean incident. Ouch! Time. He's always moving back. He's always getting pressured and getting head off. Time.
Welcome to Kyle Anthony's UFC betting show. I am Kyle Anthony, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the bet review show for UFC on ESPN 5. Colby Covington versus Robbie Lawler. We're going to talk about our two free plays, and we're also going to talk about our plays on Wagertalk. I was at this event last night. Awesome event. And as I always say when I go to these events, live events, there is nothing like it. It doesn't matter what event you're going to. I mean, obviously, pay-per-views and big title matches are always going to be a little bit more exciting. Looking forward to going to Madison Square Garden. It sounds like they're trying to really pump up that one this year. But another great event, fun one to go to. We cashed in on some we lost. We're going to go over all of that now. So our first main play that we had was on the main event of the evening between Colby Covington and Robbie Lawler. So this fight here, and as I always say, if you want to check out my entire breakdown, you can see my prediction show. It's up on my channel. But this was a fight here where it was really the difference between what we liked and what we didn't like when you're talking about Robbie Lawler. Now, you got Robbie Lawler. He was a plus 180, and you had Colby Covington, who was a minus 210. We did have Colby Covington to get us this victory. And in this fight here, the thing with Robbie Lawler was it was the takedown defense. Everyone was talking about that takedown defense. You know, his sprawl is ridiculous. His strength is ridiculous. And his power. So we had a lot of great things that were going to make it very tough for Colby Covington. But why I like Colby Covington so much was the pressure, was his cardio. That was going to be something that's very hard for any fighter to really just get away from. And even watching it, it just shows he literally walked down Robbie Lawler the entire fight. Maybe the first 30, 40 seconds he didn't of that first round because he knew that Robbie Lawler was going for broke early. He landed one or two big shots, and that had me scared for a minute there, but after that, it was just the pace and the volume output. And we talked about this in prediction show, that I really feel like Covington's striking style is very close to Nate Diaz and very close to the Diaz brothers, where they just lay a lot on you. He's not out there looking for the big shot. He's not going to, knock you out, but he's going to hit you with a ton of volume. And he needs to do that. That's Covington's game plan from the beginning, is he puts the pressure on, gets you up against the cage, gives you some takedowns, and then some even he gets up. You saw that even with RDA, against RDA, Covington got him to the ground, and then, RDA gets back up, and he got him to the ground, and RDA gets back up. And even the fact that he got up, and even the fact that even when Lawler was getting up, the crowd would cheer, because obviously most people were just wanting to see Lawler knock out Covington. But that's tiring. Over a 25-minute span, that is exhausting for any fighter to do that. You've got somebody like Lawler, who is big, and that's just the working and the overworking. And then it was really around round three. Lawler had nothing. I mean, he is just so damn tough that he was able to push through and just keep every round standing in front of him, but he just could not pull the trigger. And even I thought it was weird that, and you've seen Lawler do this too in the past also, but that he doesn't sit. When it's at the end of the rounds. He doesn't sit in his corner. He stands. He kind of has his arms up against the cage. I guess that's something that he's comfortable with. But when you're that exhausted, I think getting off your feet for a little bit there has to be some type of advantage there. So I thought that him not sitting was awkward. But then again, this is Lawler. This is what he does. And he's the ruthless one, so I guess he does what he does. But Covington was able to just keep putting that pressure on, volume over and over throughout that fight. even late in the fight, you did see Covington, I mean, how many strikes and how much he exerted of energy is pretty impressive that even into that 5th round, Covington, yes, of course these guys are getting tired, but he still was able to move forward. He still was able to land some shots. So, interesting fight. We were able to cash in here on our main free play on Colby Covington to defeat Robbie Lawler. Now, the other one we had was Jim Miller versus Clay Guida. We had this fight will go to a decision. It was minus 115. It did get up to minus 165, so money was going in on him on it being a decision. And this fight here, way I was looking at it was, you got two vets. You got two guys that have respect for each other. You've got two guys that have cardio, have shown some endurance and durability in some spots. And right away, these guys go right in and they just start exchanging. I was pretty shocked by that right away. I thought there'd be a feeling out process early in that 1st round, maybe some takedown attempts, and Guida being tough to take down would be able to kind of scramble and find his way back to standing, and a lot of that would happen is the way I was looking at it, and boy, that sure didn't happen. They go in there and Guida lands a big shot, and even when he landed that first big shot on Jim Miller, I thought this fight's over. And then Jim Miller lands another big shot back, and okay, this fight's over. And then Jim Miller brings him to the ground, or Guida kind of more went in for the takedown because he was hurt, and goes right into a guillotine choke for Jim Miller. It was the 1st round, the 1st minute of that round. Not expecting that one. And you give these guys credit. I mean, going into this fight here, there was, they were not the co-main event, and then they come in as the co-main event due to a fight dropping out, and they go in there and they put on an exciting fight. Interesting fight there, but we did not cash in there on our other free play. Now, our plays on Wagertalk, we had 2 plays there. We went 1-1 there as well. So overall, I went 2-2 on this card. We had Trevin Giles, who I thought looked terrible. Some of the tape that I was looking at, I thought that he was really going to be able to elevate here. I thought there was going to be some spots that, he would be able to really expose his opponent. Did not like what I saw there, even when he had his back to the ground. I mean, he just looked like there was a lot of spots where he had no idea how to get out of it. So he does not get that victory. The victory he did get was Nasra, and Nasra, he looks amazing. I mean, he was another guy that I said, this guy has got all the tools to really be a force in this division. And you saw in that 1st round, he kind of let it, he thought Silva was going to come out guns blazing. He kind of did in certain spots, but he just waited. He played defense, waited for his spot, and even when he finally decided to pull the trigger, and even if it was just a 1-2 combination, you saw how quick he is, you saw the power that he had, and he didn't even really exert himself. And then going into that 2nd round, that was when he turned up the notch, landed a beautiful shot, dropped him, got on top of Silva, and put him away. So we were able to get that victory on Nasrat. So overall, again, 2-2 over the last 4 events. I am 12-4, so looking to keep this going. It was my favorite play of this card was the parlay with Nasrat and Covington. It was an even money parlay, so able to make a little bit of profit here. Not as much as I was really hoping for. If one of those guys, although the decision, Miller and Guida going to a decision was nowhere near close. But Giles, I thought, was going to be able to squeak out a decision victory, and that would have really been another 3-1 night, and brought even more profit to me. So we will have the next event next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I post these videos. Then every Sunday is the bet review. And definitely please like, subscribe, get involved in the community if you have not yet done so. And this is Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show, and I'll see you next one at the Prediction Show.